We're going to get straight on with the next couple of finals now. The men's parallel bars and the women's vault to take place simultaneously. So let's have a look at the 8 who've made it through to today's finals. Starting actually with the men's parallel bars finalists, which is why the vault gymnasts are looking around and clapping. So we've just seen Ilya Kovtun, Matsumi Kazuki, Rasuljan Abdurrahimov, Dylan Jimenez, Carlos Yulo, Corinne Phillips, the top qualifier, Mohamed Afifi of Egypt, and Cameron Lee Bernard of France. We have Rifat Lutfi of Indonesia, Nancy Taman of Egypt, Uzbekistan's Oksana Chusovitna, Ilga Tarhan of Turkey, France's Colleen de Villar, Yulin Min of the People's Republic of China, the top qualifier. First reserve coming in for Aykoda Korsdottir of Bengüsü Yıldız of Turkey, and Kazakhstan's Daria Yasinskaya. Two finals to take place at the same time at the National Gymnastics Arena. Women's vault and men's parallel bars. And all eyes on the top man when it comes to parallel bars gymnastics. The finalists in the men's parallel bars competition. Yes, Ilya Kovtun's there, he gets us underway, but he was the third best in qualification. The top performer, Corinne Phillips of the United States of America, who's rather come out of nowhere, but he is the collegiate champion in the USA on this apparatus. And behind him, but going ahead of him in the final, Carlos Yulo of the Philippines. The finalists in the women's vault competition, and the top performer in qualification, Yulin Min of the People's Republic of China. But we must keep an eye on Colleen de Villar of France, because she absolutely has the difficulty to win this final, but she struggled with her first vault in qualification. Oksana Chusovitna was the second best in qualification. Nice to see Nancy Taman in this final. She had to withdraw from the Doha final last weekend due to injury. The first ever Egyptian woman to make a World Championship final. And an absolute vault specialist. Talking of vault specialists, Oksana Chusovitna, 47, who has competed at 17 World Championships along with her 8 Olympic Games. And she's on a fantastic run of a medal in her last 9 World Cup events. So she could make it 10 out of 10. Tarhan of Turkey, the 4th best in qualification. She won her first ever World Cup medal at home in Mersin last year, with silver on this apparatus. Now, what are we going to see in this men's parallel bars competition? Very interesting. Ilya Kovtun, who is going for his 7th consecutive World Cup title. The World Cup events that are slightly more high profile than the World Challenge Cup events. He won all 4 last year. He's won the first 2 this season, so going for 7 in a row. But he was not one of the top 2 in qualification. Let's begin with the women's vault and men's parallel bars finals. Rifda Ifanalutfi of Indonesia, the 3rd best performer in qualification, with a score of 12.866. Very nice vaults, really secure. And her execution in qualification for both vaults was very tidy. Full twisting Yurchenko is her more difficult vault. Good toe point, heels reasonably tidy at the start of the vault. Just a little loss of form in the final phase. It should be a good number for this first vault. .033. Down by less than a tenth from qualification. Gymnast who's won 13 medals at the Southeast Asian Games. Extraordinary record. And so she performs a pretty tidy second vault as well. Rifda Ifanalutfi. Spring front pike. And we'll come back to her in just a moment as we head over to the men's parallel bars. Ilya Kovtun, 3rd best in qualification, 15.066. He's going for 7 World Cup golds in a row. It would be an outrageous accomplishment. It already is outrageous. Just has a little gyration there in the midsection. He stabilised it well. So clean, performing such difficult gymnastics. Beautiful. He's a fraction overarched on that handstand, just a fraction. Not there. Lovely single rail work. Back into a central position. And as ever, an exquisite landing. He's done very well. Now, 12.566. the second vault for Rifta Ifanalutfi. So she has set the mark that the rest are seeking to surpass, 12.799 the average. So Nancy Taman of Egypt, 12.666 average in qualification. This was the better vault. Full twist in Yurchenko. 28-year-old from the third largest city in Egypt, Alexandria. She was a Mediterranean Games vault champion in 2018. He'll certainly set the mark for everybody else, but how high will it be? She has been a World Cup champion, Nancy Taman. Her score is 13.066, higher than qualification by 0.2. Second vault from Nancy Taman could well put her into a position to go into the lead. We'll come back to it after this score for Ilya Kovtun, 15.366. He's gained 0.3 of difficulty, as he so often manages to do in a final, and that will really put pressure on the rest of the field. It's so typical of Ilya Kovtun to find that extra gear in a final. Matsumi Kazuki of Japan, fourth best in qualification, 14.966. Amazing, this 25-year-old makes his senior international debut. He is a graduate of Sendai University. Nice, stylish performance so far. Unfortunate, had to take a few paces with the hands to stabilise the overarch. Rather lost his form. Entering the Bavzar. Another flicker of an overarch. Small. Lovely dismount. Backwards momentum in the pike position. So stable as he landed. Nancy Taman doesn't quite go into the lead. That 0.3 penalty for the second vault. Crucial. 12.649 has her a tenth and a half behind Rifta Ifanalutfi. Go to Oksana Chusovitna of Uzbekistan. Second best in qualification. 12.833 for the first vault. And she was working hard to stabilise that big pace set out of bounds. The gymnast who is going for 10 consecutive World Cup medals. It would be quite extraordinary. She has a little more difficulty with her handspring front pike with the addition, well, a correction to that actually. And now I'll come back to that in a moment. The score coming in for Matsumi Kazuki in a moment. Now, Oksana Chusovitna. First vault, 12.833 in qualification. Also won the Islamic Solidarity Games title last year for the second competition in a row. Well, we haven't got a score yet for Oksana Chusovitna. Now we do, 13.033. So interesting that she switched the vaults around from qualification. So that was lower by just over a tenth from the qualification performance. So Oksana Chusovitna, I'll come back to her, 14.433 for Matsumi Kazuki. He's in second position. Now to the 26-year-old from Uzbekistan, Rasul Abdurrahimov, was the top 25 performer on parallel bars at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. He just didn't quite establish his handstand position there. Only the second time we've seen him in a World Cup final. The time was in Cairo. Gentleman who received the Builder of the Future medal from the President at the conclusion of the Olympic Games. We'll come back to him as the 13.133 is the score for Oksana Chusovitna. So her difficulty upgraded by 4/10 from qualification. And that enables her to go into the lead. Now to Bilge Tarhan of Turkey. The 18-year-old vault silver medalist in her home World Cup in Mersin last year. And full twisting Yurchenko a little offline. Tidy from a landing perspective nonetheless. She scored 13 for that vault in qualification. Silver medalist at last year's national championships. First time that we've seen her competing internationally since a small exhibition event in Switzerland at the end of last year. .9 for Bilge Tarhan, very comparable from qualification, just down by a 10th, that's all. She can produce the sort of quality of which she is capable with this second vault. There's every chance she'll go into second position. Could be quite tight. Let's have a look. The second vault for Bilge Tarhan of Turkey. Handspring front pike half. Now she scored 12.566 for that vault in the preliminary round. Rasuljan Abdurrahimov 14.266, exactly as he scored in qualification. Dylan Jimenez of Colombia, the 5th best in the preliminary round, 14.7. A medalist at the South American Games and the Bolivarian Games last year. He struggles a little with his single rail work and has to reset. Oh, he does get such lovely distance on his Bavzar. And it sets up so nicely for that unorthodox dismount. Bilge Tarhan. Is she going to manage to make her way into a provisional podium place with 4 still to go? The question mark really is over Colleen de Villars, because yes, she was the 7th best performer in qualification, but no doubt whatsoever that she can produce the numbers to win. No doubt that he can as well, but Ilya Kovtun has set quite a challenge for everyone else. She does go into second place, Bilge Tarhan, 12.816, a 12.733 for that second vault, good enough to go beyond Rifta Irfana Lutfi. .266 for Dylan Jimenez. Unfortunately, he's well down from his scoring qualification. Top performer in qualification was Yulin Min. She managed to do it with an accumulated 0.4 of penalties too. If she can eliminate those, she'll be a good case to go ahead of Oksana Chusevitna, but all of that really dependent on what we see from this next vaulter. Coming in as the first reserve, Bengüsü Yıldız, the all-around champion at the Islamic Solidarity Games last year. She also won a medal on vault. And one gymnast left to warm up, that's Kazakhstan's Daria Yasinskaya. So Oksana Chusevitna has submitted an inquiry. I'll come back to that. Colin de Villar of France, the World Cup champion from Doha. 7th best in qualification here. Well, that is immeasurably better than the qualification performance. Absolutely puts her in contention. Colin de Villar, she struggled with her opening vault in qualifying, didn't manage to land it. A very tough decision, the trade-off with difficulty in execution, whether to go with your hardest vault. And she has found a massive improvement, 14.333 compared to 12.633. And suddenly Colin de Villar was well positioned to go into first place. Full twisting Yurchenko, lovely, and I think we're going to see quite a pronounced change to the leaderboard. We'll come back to that as now we go to Carlos Yulo of the Philippines over on the parallel bars. .5 his difficulty score in qualification for 15.333 overall. Beautiful. That is going to make this final really interesting. A challenge laid down to the perennial winner Ilia Kovtun and a clear leader in Colleen de Villar, 13.683. Her average score. She goes ahead of Oksana Chusovitina. And all of that now asks quite a lot of the Chinese gymnast Yulin Min, who was the top performer in qualification. Just to let you know, Oksana Chusovitina's score has changed. She has got that upgrade, 13.433. Come back to that in a moment. Now here's Yulin Min. That's way better than qualification, certainly. 13.433 was her qualification score. She's the reigning national champion on vault. There is confirmation of the change to Oksana Chusovitina's score. 4.4 upgraded to a 5.0. All of that adding 0.3 to the average score. .766. Much better first vault, minus that 0.3 of penalty. A better looking full twisting Yurchenko as well than the qualification round for Yulin Min. Has he done it? He's done it! Carlos Yulo, 15.4. He's ended the streak of Ilia Kovtun. Extraordinary. The man who cannot be beaten has just been passed. And now to Curran Phillips of the United States of America, the top performer in qualification with a score of 15.5. He's really not even close to where he was in qualification, unfortunately, from a cleanliness perspective. Lots of little adjustments, a clip of the apparatus. It's a very difficult routine, though. He's got extraordinary complexity to his work, a 6.8 in qualification. That's a beautiful dismount as well. Interesting to see how that compares. Now, meanwhile, 13.383 into the bronze medal position goes Yulin Min. Cengiz Yıldız of Turkey, the all-around champion at the Islamic Solidarity Games, comes into this vault final as the first reserve. 12.866 for Bengüsü Yıldız, up by 1/10 from qualification. Her second vault carried a 3.8 difficulty score in qualification, so 4/10 down from her full twisting Yurchenko. A layout Tsukahara full was what was being indicated on the vault scoreboard. We'll come back to that as the 14.5 for Curran Phillips comes in. And Bengüsü Yıldız also was indicating a Yurchenko 1.5 for her first vault, which would have carried an extra 4/10 of difficulty, which she didn't elect to attempt. Now to Mohamed Afifi of Egypt. Seventh best in qualification with a score of 14.433. It's going to be very tricky for anyone to catch Carlos Yulo at the top of the leaderboard. Just about got through that tip out with a little sense of adjustment. He's got some nice work on the parallel bars, Mohamed Afifi, the reigning all-around African champion. One to go in each of these finals. 12.583. The average score for Bengüsü Yıldız. Now to Daria Yasinskaya of Kazakhstan, the last to go in the vault competition. Average of 12.599 in qualification. Well, that was nicely done. She had some difficulties in the Doha World Cup. Gets a decent amount of amplitude in the handspring front pike half vault. She was a vault finalist at the Asian Championships. That was also in Doha, where, as I mentioned earlier, she made the World Cup final last week. 12.8, so she improves by just over 1/10 from qualification. Secure from Daria Yasinskaya, not the most difficult work that we will see at a World Cup, but well performed. 14.533. Mohamed Afifi gets his 6.0 for difficulty. And he actually goes into third position with 1 to go. Now to Cameron Lee Bernard of France. At the moment, it's Yulo, Compton and Afifi. Bernard scored 14.666 in qualification. Quite a big adjustment on the landing. Has he managed it, Cameron Lee Bernard? And where does Daria Yasinskaya finish? Sixth position for her, 12.716, a 12.633 for the second vault. So she manages an improvement on each of her vaults in the final. The final standings in the vault competition: the bronze to Yulin Min of the People's Republic of China, silver to Oksana Chusovitna of Uzbekistan, 10 World Cup medals in a row for her, and Colleen de Villar of France wins her second World Cup title in the space of a week with a much improved performance from qualification. Cameron Lee Bernard has gone into third place. He is absolutely thrilled about it as well. Celebrates with Colleen de Villar. He just comes in ahead of Mohamed Afifi. These are the final results in the men's parallel bars competition. Cameron Lee Bernard of France takes the bronze medal. Ilya Kovtun of Ukraine takes silver. His remarkable streak of 6 World Cup titles in a row comes to an end courtesy of Carlos Yulo, and it was by a fraction. Such a close contest, and Compton finally is beaten. Now the victory ceremony in the women's vault competition.
Dünya Kubokunda qadın gimnastların dayağı tullanmada mükafatlandırılmasına başlayırıq.
Award ceremony for women's vault final. Third place and bronze medalist Oksana Chusovitina, Uzbekistan.
I think they might have got that one wrong. Just wait for a moment, because it is Yulin Min who has won the bronze medal. Colleen de Villar is having a right old chuckle in the centre of the podium.
Third place and bronze medalist Yulin Min, China.
The winner of the bronze medal, Yulin Min from the People's Republic of China.
Second place and silver medalist
First ever World
Oksana
Cup
Chusovitina,
honours for her.
Uzbekistan.
Oksana Chusovitna of Uzbekistan takes the silver medal,
First
winning her
place and
10th
gold medalist
World
Colleen
Cup
de
medal in a
Villar,
row.
France.
And Colleen de Villar of France takes the title, just as she did a week ago in Doha. A much improved performance from qualification, where she was the 7th best, but she was always a contender for the title,
of African
and she won it well.
Gymnastics Union and Egyptian Gymnastics Federation.
Hediyeler LG şirket tarafından takdim olunur.
Please stand and show your respect
Now the
for
national anthem of France.
Anthem of France.
Təbrik edirik.
Congratulations.
The medalists in the women's vault competition. Next, the men's parallel bars final.
İdman gimnastika üzrə Dünya Kubokunda kişi gimnastların paralel qollardan mükafatlandırmasına başlayır.
Award ceremony for men's parallel bars final. Third place and bronze medalist Cameron Lee Bernard, France.
A lovely moment for Cameron Lee Bernard, France,
Second
as he gets his
place and
first
silver
World Cup
medalist
honours.
Ilya Kovtun, Ukraine.
Ilya Kovtun of Ukraine is still on the podium, but his
First place
remarkable
and gold
winning
medalist
streak was
Carlos
ended.
Edriel Yulo, Philippines.
And it was ended by that gentleman, Carlos Yulo of the Philippines. A
The medals
fantastic
are
victory,
presented by
just
Ms.
by a matter of
Natalia
hundreds
Bulanova,
ahead of
competitions
Ilya Kovtun.
director. Please stand and show your respect.
And now the national
for
anthem of the
national
Philippines.
Anthem of Philippines.
Təbrik edirik.
Congratulations.
The medalists in the men's parallel bars competition at the National Gymnastics Arena in Baku.